But yes, it was a shit show. Riley, I'll let you go first because I got my own opinions about it. There's a lot of people that are saying, "Oh, it's just it's just short track racing."
Bullshit! You fucking idiots!
Listen here, there's a lot of people
You stupid.
I don't know.
I hope you post this on TikTok, and I'm talking directly to you. If you think the Xfinity race was a good race, quit fucking watching racing, because that's not fucking racing. That is wrecking. There's an old adage in racing, rubbing is racing. You want to go up, rub the guy up a little bit, send him up the groove? Sure. That's racing. But fucking wrecking a guy from fucking 15 car lengths back on the last lap, wrecking yourself, wrecking half the field because you're pissed off that he flipped you off is fucking bullshit. That's retarded. You are a bad human being. That is a bad decision. You're a child that needs an ass whooping. That's what that is. You threw a temper tantrum because you didn't like the guy giving you a gesture. He says he's flipping him off under the red flag because somebody else did something stupid. It caused a really dumb wreck. It was fucking Sam Mayer.
Yeah, Sam Mayer.
Sam Mayer drove like a jackass all day, too.
Yeah.
It's all these fucking rich kids that ain't never turned a goddamn wrench in their life racing in this Xfinity series. And, they just fucking tear shit up. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If I'm a team owner in the Xfinity series, I'm parking these motherfuckers. I know they can't because that's where their money comes from. Because Sam Smith has fucking, Pilot and, fucking anal beads and whatever the fuck other his fucking bullshit sponsors are. And you got fucking Sam Mayer who got sponsors out the ass. All these fucking rich kids that... they're talented. I'm not saying they're not. Sam Mayer's a good race car driver. I didn't expect that 41 car to be as competitive as it is.
Outrunning Sheldon Creed.
Sam Mayer, or Sammy Smith, is a good race car driver. I'm not saying he's not. He deserves to be in that car. He's good. But, you can't race like this. 15, 20 years ago, you are getting your ass whooped if you race halfway as bad as these kids are racing now. If you're out here at Anderson Motor Speedway and you race like that, you're getting your ass whooped.
Well, you can't do it at Anderson Motor Speedway anyway because you got to go fix that car. You wouldn't do that. It's not
That's
worth
what
it.
I'm saying. You're not going to wreck somebody for $500 at Anderson Motor Speedway, which I'm just guessing that's what the purse is for winning the late model race there, which it probably costs those guys more than that to show up. So, you're not going to race like that if you're paying for it yourself. And these kids need a reality check. Now, they grew up with the silver spoon. I get it. They're never going to get one. But if you race... Hell, I don't think Jeff Gordon's the toughest guy in the world. But if you race Jeff Gordon like that, he's going to come talk to you.
He'll throw hands.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean by that. You race Jeff Burton like that. Probably the nicest guy in the garage. He's going to come have a conversation with you. Mark Martin. Rusty Wallace. Dale
Rusty
Earnhardt.
Wallace will whoop your ass. And Dale Sr.
Yeah. Greg Biffle, not the toughest guy in the world. He's going to come talk to you. Boris said.
As long as it ain't damn Kevin Harvick.
Yeah. Matt Kenseth going to at least wreck you back. Carl Edwards going to punch you in the mouth. Kevin Harvick's going to punch you in the mouth. Tony Stewart's going to punch you in the mouth.
Kyle Busch will try.
Kyle Busch will fight you. Joey Logano will fight you. Denny Hamlin. All these guys have been in fights because they raced probably 10% as dirty as these guys in the Xfinity.
Some moves are closer to that 50, 60, 70 to 80.
Yeah, but they're outliers.
Yeah,
they don't happen every weekend.
I get you.
Right? You go to a Martinsville race in the Xfinity Series, this is what you see every time. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that, the 54 car is pretty much, and you can't say he's dominating the race because all he's doing is restarting and then a caution comes out.
Well, he had the best car.
But he had the best car.
Him and
he deserved
Connor probably had the best two cars. Connor had a bad day too.
But, until there's repercussions for driving like a fucking asshole, you're going to keep seeing this. And apparently you fucking dumbasses watching this right now want to watch this. But I don't. Somebody that's been around racing his whole life and that enjoys actual racing doesn't want to see this every week.
Takes no skill to do what Sammy Smith did.
No. And Austin Hill, who had probably the 10th best car, wins the race because Sammy Smith wants to drive like a fucking asshole. Yeah. And I don't understand why NASCAR... I do understand. But If NASCAR would take away the winning you're in format, Sammy Smith's okay with finishing second there, and this doesn't happen. But the problem is, second does not matter. Second and 32nd are the same. Because Sammy Smith,
if you're not contending for a regular season championship,
is gonna be in the playoffs. So if he doesn't win this race, it doesn't matter to him. If he wrecks, second doesn't matter. Third doesn't matter. If I have to wreck you to win, I will. If I wreck myself in the process, so be it. That's not racing. Racing is doing the best your car can do, getting a good finish, going on and stacking those good finishes and seeing where you're at the end of the year. But NASCAR will not allow that to happen because it doesn't make for good television. Even though the ratings were better
20 years ago.
20 years ago when this shit didn't happen.
Ever.
Never. But NASCAR is too fucking blind to see that they are alienating the people that actually care about the sport by catering to you motherfuckers that watch the TikToks about the end of the race and say that it's exciting. That probably didn't even watch the race. Probably don't even know what channel it was on. But you see it on fucking YouTube and you see it on TikTok.
Oh, man,
you think it's
crazy.
entertaining.
That was crazy.
Cool.
That was
Cool.
fun.
Don't even know the fucking guys in the field, but you're going to say it was a good race. Don't know the crew chiefs. Don't know the guys that own the car. Haven't watched never watched a Busch race or a nationwide race before, but we're going to say that the last Xfinity race at Martinsville was a good one. Don't know a goddamn thing about racing, but you're going to say that. NASCAR's going to cater to you guys instead of us and everybody else like us that's been watching racing for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, that actually care about the health of the sport, that watch the races, that pay to show up, that buy the merchandise. Don't give a fuck about us. We're going to cater to the guys that want to see a goddamn demolition derby every week. And it's ridiculous. And it pisses me off. And until NASCAR gets out of the way and lets these guys handle it themselves, quit putting security in front of Sammy Smith so Taylor Gray can go beat his ass, which is what he should do.
One way to fix it.
It's never going to get fixed. Or let Taylor Gray wreck him this weekend. Well, they don't race this weekend. Next weekend. Don't penalize Taylor Gray for getting him back. If they're not going to penalize this type of driving, which I don't want them to, let Taylor Gray handle it. And it will quit.
They're racing Darlington this weekend.
Are they? I didn't think they were. But if Taylor Gray goes in there and right hooks him into the fence this weekend, which I would do, fuck it, I'll take the suspension because you won't let me beat his ass. I'm right hooking you into the fence. Fuck you. Sorry. Suspend me. I don't care. I'm getting you back. You won't do it again. I can promise you that. Until NASCAR allows that to happen, this shit's going to keep happening.
Well, you can't do that because then he loses playoff eligibility.
Fuck him.
I mean, I know, but...
Fuck him. I got to piss.
I mean, yeah, I'm right there with you. I hated... That's not racing. That's fucking... Oh, I'm upset that I got moved on a restart. And I'm just going to say... I mean, you can literally see, if you watch it back, you can see Sammy Smith's hand out the window coming down the backstretch when Justin is on the inside of him, telling him to, hey, let me go. Let me go. Like, it's the fucking last lap. Like, you want to... These children, they act like children. This is shit you see in a NASCAR Thunder 04 video game. You know, I don't know. I feel like these kids just have no sense of what real racing is. And I know back in the 80s and 90s, you know, you had some rough patches where you had stuff like this happen. But Bill Sr. sat these motherfuckers down and said, you are going to... I mean, literally, between Dale Sr. and Jeff Bodine, sat them down after them getting into each other a few times. Like, you going to fucking stop this right now, or I will handle it myself and get y'all's asses kicked out the sport, pretty much. So you had a voice, which is another problem. There's no voice in the Xfinity Series. Justin Allgaier had a comment after the race on Sunday or Saturday saying, yeah, this is unacceptable when, you know, there's no... you know, repercussions for any of these things that happen. You know, this is embarrassing. You know, we need a leader. You know, I don't think I'm that guy. Like, Justin would be, no, Justin, you would be one of the guys that could, you're a veteran. Like, okay, stop this shit. We have got to stop. And I know Justin's done some crazy stuff in the past. Oh, he's never done nothing like that. He just kind of overdrove it, you know, cleared himself, stuff like that. Not just coming from 2 car lengths back to wreck somebody for a win and then causing a huge wreck down the front stretch. Like, Justin Allgaier would be a great person to be like, we have got to stop this. And what I will say about this, too, is you remember the Truck Series a couple years ago was like this. Well, guess where a lot of these truck guys are now? Back then. They're in the Xfinity Series now. So it's these kids that have moved their way up to the Xfinity Series that have no regards for the equipment. They just want to win or wreck. Whatever the cost may be, it doesn't matter. And it goes back to the playoff format. If you take the win and you're in, you don't have these crazy moves. And now will you have more boring races because of it instead of, going for second or going for a win when you ain't got the best car and just settling in for second and having a good points day? Yeah, maybe, but at least that's real racing. At least it takes skill to be able to hang on to your position when you ain't got a good car instead of just going in there. It's like, fuck it, I got to win this race. I don't give a shit who's in my way. That's fake. That's just not realistic. It's embarrassing is what it is. I mean, I've seen cleaner races on the iRacing lobby at Martinsville, what we just saw on Saturday night. I mean, even iRacing would probably be like, the eNASCAR series wouldn't do that shit. They wouldn't do that shit. I don't know. I just go back to when you had veteran guys in the Xfinity Series back in the day that wouldn't allow this type of shit to happen. In the Truck Series, back in the day, Matt Craft's still in it, but like a Mike Skinner, Ron Hornaday, those guys, they wouldn't put up with this shit. Jeff Green in the Xfinity Series, they wouldn't put up with this shit. But we got all these young guys that have and it might be part of the owner's fault too and the sponsors. But like, yeah, fuck it. I don't give a shit what happens to this car. You ain't got to worry about fixing it. That needs to change. That needs to change at some point. You need to get these guys in a room.
Who's the last person in NASCAR that got fired for wrecking too much? Was it Ricky from Roush?
Probably. 2010.
No. When Chris got his job. When Chris took over.
Oh.
Ricky got let go.
2020.
In 2020.
Yeah.
Behind that.
Or no, 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first full season. Yeah.
Yeah, because Chris was in that 2020 Daytona 500. He was like 4th or 5th.
Yeah.
With Newman and Blaney and Denny.
But you don't see guys get fired for wrecking. And even that, I mean, Ricky was in that car for what, 6 years?
13 to
19.
19, yeah.
Yeah. And wrecked every other weekend. So it takes a lot to get fired these days. And, back in the day,
well, you could wreck every week if you bring sponsorship dollars. It don't fucking matter.
it doesn't matter. Yeah. As long as they're making money.
That's why the problem is the state of NASCAR and the way this business model is broken. We've mentioned that before.
Yeah, because there's guys out there that don't wreck, that don't get jobs. And, there's guys like, that's why, I'm a Josh Berry fan. That's why you're a Josh Berry fan. That's why a lot of people like Josh Berry is because Josh Berry is one of the few guys out there that earned it. Mm-hmm. Right?
And he did some questionable stuff in the Xfinity Series. Not question, but it wasn't nothing like we just saw on Saturday.
He is, if he was in the Xfinity race Saturday, he'd have been the cleanest driver in the field.
Probably.
And, it's just, these kids, like I said, they grow up running other people's shit because they're rich and they can afford to pay other people to run their shit, and they never have to turn a wrench. They show up to the racetrack, jump in it, either win or wreck it, get out, and
go back home.
Go back home, and they come back to the track, and the car's waiting on them. Mm-hmm. And it ain't.
They go to the shop, Tuesday, Wednesday for meetings and stuff.
Yeah.
But
it ain't never been. Oh shit! Second, I want to win, but if I get into this guy, I'm gonna damage this right front. I don't have the money to fix it this week.
Well, the thing that drives me the craziest is I did what I had to do.
No, you didn't.
You
didn't have to do it.
This is not war. You're not trying to kill a Russian in World War or the Cold War or something a German, a Nazi. This is not life or death we're talking about here. Like, what the fuck does I did what I have to do mean? No. What does that mean?
It's a it's a way to deflect responsibility for a very bad decision. And
another thing, how can you sleep at night knowing you did something like that?
they don't care.
Like, where
They
are your morals
that.
at?
Well, I mean, he said it in his interview. I did the same thing he would have done to me.
How do you know? He didn't, because he did you on the restart. He didn't do that to you.
Nope.
He did it cleaner than you did to him the previous restart.
Yep.
What do you mean?
All I know
he would have done the same thing.
All I know is
I know they had a history too, but fuck that. They did for the race today or that Saturday. They didn't really do nothing crazy to each other.
no. I'm not the toughest guy in the world by any means.
You did have pink eye in both your eyes, and
Yeah.
that's pretty tough to me.
That is pretty tough.
I had it for one eye.
I dealt with it. Fought through. But I'm not letting anybody race me like that.
Oh, I don't.
And
I'd get fired. If I was Taylor Gray, I'd get fired.
I
would try to kill Sammy Smith.
I would take an ass whooping. I don't care if I lose the fight or not. It's the principle.
Yeah.
You're not going to race me that way. It's not going to happen. I don't care if you're Ryan Newman or Ryan Blaney or Ryan Ellis. I'm beating your ass.
Lakers in 5.
Or I'm trying. Yeah.
That's where I thought you were going at.
I'm going to try to beat your ass, and I'm going to do everything I can to prove to you that there are repercussions to racing me that way. Mm-hmm. That's how you earn respect. Respect is earned. Now, maybe it's obvious Sammy Smith doesn't respect Taylor Gray, because if he did, he wouldn't have raced Kyle Busch that way. He wouldn't have raced
his teammate Justin
Allgaier that way. Hell, he probably wouldn't even have raced, Sam Mayer that way. But
if they didn't have a history, probably not. I don't know. I don't know if that's the reason behind it or what.
You gotta respect your competition. Now, I'm not advocating for making these cars unsafe and people getting hurt, but people can get hurt. And every now and again, you'll get a reminder, right? You're probably not going to get it at Martinsville, but every now and again, you get a reminder that this is still very dangerous. And, I noticed a difference in super speedway racing after Newman's incident there for a little bit. And now it's back to the same shit. But when people get hurt in these situations, that's when the driving changes for a little bit. So it's either that, somebody's going to have to fucking get hurt, or somebody's going to have to get an ass whooping. That's the only thing that's going to change it.
I agree. And like the format doesn't help at all. I think that it kind of roots back to that as well. It's just, hey, Sammy Smith, it's one of his better racetracks. It's one of my top 3 chances of winning a race and making the playoffs. I got to do this for my team, for my sponsors. I have to do it. Morals be damned. And it's like, that's just, I get it, kind of, but that's over. That crossed the line. I mean, it was essentially the same thing as what Austin Dillon did to Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin. Well, yeah, to Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin. Now, he didn't right hook anybody into the fence, but
he would have.
He would have. If it wasn't Martinsville, if it was Richmond, it probably would have been the same outcome. But, and the same people that are liking this finish liked the Austin Dillon finish last year.
We call those
and
idiots.
That's just, I can't help you, because don't even watch the race. That's not racing. Go to your fucking local demolition derby event. Watch that. You have a good time. That's where that type of shit is cool. But in NASCAR, that is not how racing should be, in my opinion. And that's mostly everybody else's opinion. Agrees with us on that. If you like that race and finish, then I can't really help you. I'm trying to say it as nice as I can, but
no, I'll say it as bluntly as I can. You're a fucking idiot if you thought that was good racing.
That's not. First off, it's not racing to begin with. That was just, hey, I want to win this race, and I don't give a shit what I got to do.
You said it. I've been in iRacing lobbies that are cleaner than that.
For sure.
I wouldn't do that in iRacing. I wouldn't do that in NASCAR Thunder 2004. That's
unless somebody could spud you out.
Unless we were already 100% villain on that guy.
That boy had been
and he'd been door slamming me for 100 laps. Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe you're getting it back. But even then, I'd feel bad about it. Racing a
you'd be
computer
like,
that way.
The computer, exactly. You're racing fucking other human beings, and you're doing that shit. Just unacceptable. And hopefully something will change. I know they had the drivers meeting on Sunday before the race. They were like, I forgot who the competition director just said the name, the word of the day today is respect. Coming from what we saw in the Xfinity
Which
Series.
you don't really
Saturday.
see it a ton in the Cup Series. There's only a few guys that kind of race that way in the Cup Series, and everybody knows who they are. So, you got Ross, and you got Austin Dillon, and Carson Hocevar, and these days you're looking at the two Austin Cindric's racing guys, kind of dirty these days. But even the people that you think like the villains of the sport are, Joey. He doesn't race that way.
No, he don't go to that extreme. I've never really seen him do that. He does race on
Denny.
the edge.
Yeah, he races hard, and he might get to the line, but he rarely crosses it. And nobody likes Denny. Denny doesn't do that.
No. Again, he's right at the line. Kyle Larson, he's at the line.
Larson never does that. Kyle Busch has been the biggest villain in the sport for 20 years.
Other than the Ron Hornaday.
Other than Ron Hornaday in the Truck Series, he's never done anything like that. He's one of the cleaner drivers out there these days. Mm-hmm. Probably the cleanest.
I wouldn't say that, but he's up there for sure.
Brad Keselowski, a lot of people don't like him. He doesn't race like that.
2014 Texas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me get loose and actually accidentally door slam.
Fill a hole that isn't there. Cut down my opponent's tire when we have fucking fender flares out the wazoo because everybody was doing it.
Off,
you can't do that.
That was NASCAR's fault for letting them pull that fender out.
It's true.
Second off,
them motherfuckers were flying with that shit though. God.
Second off,
I'd give my left testicle to see them race that fast.
Second off, that was Jeff Gordon's fault for fucking.
He didn't get a good restart. Yes,
having a terrible restart and leaving the hole.
A hole that wasn't there.
The hole was there. He ran the third lane.
Third lane. He hit Jimmy and Jeff. It's just Jeff was on the right side where that fender flare comes out, and it cut his tire. He hit Jimmy too in the process.
Yeah.
So, I think I could be wrong. I don't remember. I've erased that from my memory.
Anyway, what a great race that was! But
it was awesome. I want to see that every week. We're real race fans, or no, we're Darfs.
Yeah, we're the idiots.
We're the problem.
Yeah. If I'm the problem, you might be the reason.
Can't wait for the album to come out. Mm-hmm. It's going to be, 37 songs?
I think 52, probably.
Oh, damn. Breaking news. Providence transfer Bryce Hopkins has committed to St. John's. Barezzo. Wait, what? Barezzo? He said his name was Hopkins. The fuck ESPN?
We got a Providence transfer. Went to South Carolina.
Borzello. Okay. Either they fucked up his... Who the fuck is Borzello? It said Bryce Hopkins, and it says Borzello. ESPN, do better. You can't do that. But yeah, I didn't
get that update. Oh, I don't have NCAA basketball as an update on my phone. I don't get the push notifications.
I got you. Yeah, I think we said all we needed to say on that.
Yeah. I'll say it again. You're an idiot if you like that race.
You're an idiot.
Quit listening to this podcast. Don't watch our TikToks if you thought that was good.
By the way, real quick, hold on. Let me look at this real quick. Okay. Here.
Am I gonna have to cuss somebody out?
Well, that's off the one I did Saturday night.
Hunt Larson, you're an idiot.
I might have been the only one on that one.
Yeah, that's the only one on that one. Okay. Hunt Larson, you're an idiot. You're getting the DA of the day.
Oh, here we go.
Fatback 3, you're an idiot. The Xfinity race usually is the better race of the weekend. I will give you that. But who gives a fuck if Denny wins the race? Saturday was an embarrassment. Hunt Larson, you're a fucking idiot.
Oh, he said it again? What'd he say?
Xfinity better, like I said. Let me see here.
And those guys follow us, so we do appreciate the follow, but come on, man.
Come on, bro.
Like,
That's bad. I mean, that's just not good racing.
Yeah,
It's not.
It's entertaining, but I said it for comment in his first video when I did the Xfinity reaction. Let's just fucking stage it and put WWE like WWE because that's not real racing.
I mean, if you want entertainment, go watch a movie. If you want to watch a sporting event, go to a sporting event.
Yeah.
Sometimes, most of the time, sporting events are entertainment, but entertainment for entertainment's sake is not sports. And there is a difference. You know, I respect your opinion, Mr. Hunt Larson, but you're wrong. And it's that's not racing. And it never has been and it never will be. If that's what you want to watch, go to the Demolition Derby. Go watch fucking monster trucks drive over cars and shit. And you'll get your entertainment. But if you want to watch a race, go watch a race.
Just watch a race. That's why NASCAR is and always has been the most popular motorsport in the country. Not from that.
Nope.
We see that rare, and a lot of people get very upset about it. All the drivers are saying the same thing. I haven't seen one driver be like, "Oh yeah, that's just how it is." The Xfinity drivers were, but everybody else was like, "That was bullshit." So
the drivers that were involved said that, but the 7 got out. That was bullshit.
27.
Even the 21 was like, I don't know what was going on there. I feel bad for what happened with I was in, and he said that. So even the guy who won the race was like, it's kind of weird, but
yeah, it is what it is.